Hello everybody and welcome to today's review. I'm going to be talking about A Short Hike. Now I had originally heard of this game because of the August 2020 Nintendo Indie World presentation and thought it looked really interesting, but I also have to admit I wasn't dying to try it out or anything like that, so I was very pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed this game. If you check out the trailer in the Nintendo eShop, you can also see that it won quite a few awards and it's easy to understand why. The minimalistic art style allows you to let down your guard as you explore this tiny island in your search for self-discovery and for cell phone reception, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get into the details of A Short Hike. This shouldn't take too long. Now this game opens up with a very simple cutscene. It is nighttime and our main character, a young bird named Claire, is being driven by her aunt, who is something of a park ranger, to an island of some kind that is also a state park. Now it could seem like Claire is being a little bit standoffish, but it is kind of late, so it could kind of just be brushed away. Now the following morning, she gives off more of this same demeanor, and it's somewhat into the day, so now why is she acting this way? Because she's waiting for a very important phone call and doesn't have any interest in anything except for this call. Sounds like your average teen, actually. Now, our aunt tells us that cell phone reception is pretty bad, but we might do better if we go up to the top of the mountain. So what does Claire do? Start her way up there because good God is this call important. Like I said, she sounds like your average teen. Now along this way, we get to meet most, if not all, of our camp residents. Some of them even need a little bit of help, like a rabbit who's lost their lucky headband. There's even another resident who teaches you how to fish. Nice guy. I think his name's Bill. Now, through exploring the park and taking your time, there's plenty of interesting things to interact with and a lot of fun things to discover. Not to mention a good bit of money to be found. Now, this really comes in handy as you end up needing to buy your first golden feather, which helps you find even more. These feathers will then act like a stamina meter of sorts, and this in turn allows you to do things like run, fly rather than just glide, and even climb up the sides of cliffs, all of which will be things that you need to do in order to get to the top of the mountain. Because we got to get that phone call, right? Along this hiking journey, Claire has many short conversations and her demeanor is clearly that of a distracted teen. She's got something weighing on her. I mean, when she's learning to fish, she even bluntly states how patience is not her strong suit, which to be fair, wasn't mine when I was her age either. However, the more you do, and the more people you interact with as you get higher up in the climb, there seems to be a slow shift in her outlook. Almost like taking a moment to take a breath of fresh air and get moving has helped clear her head a little bit from whatever was weighing her down so much before. Now, when you get to the top of the mountain, you get to enjoy a stunning view. Stunning as much as the artistic choices this game has made will be able to offer and still be enjoyable, that is. And lo and behold, you do get that sanctified phone call. I'm not going to say who it was or what they were talking about. You need to play the game to know the ending. But I have to admit, it was definitely worth climbing the mountain. Another thing that I want to point out is I have been harping on the fact that Claire starts off as the stereotypical teen. However, there is a strong reason behind this, and when you get to the top of the mountain, you absolutely learn why. And I think that's a strong storytelling point, and I think it was very well executed. So I think that's a strong positive point for this game. Now there is a little extra added bonus was that once you get back down the mountain and get back to your aunt's cabin, you have a quick chat with her about your day. Depending on the things that you've interacted with and some of the things that you found, it will change how that conversation goes, which was a nice touch in my opinion. Then you can go inside and take a well-earned nap to end the game. Now, what are my pros and cons for this one? First pro is that I absolutely adored how simple it was. I was immediately sucked in and beat the game in a single sitting. I actually felt a bit of stress relief while playing it, almost as if it was simulating the act of going for a walk on my own. A second positive thing worth noting is that the dialogue was well framed, which sounds strange, but it's also most notable with Claire. paying attention to how many words are in each of the text boxes as someone spoke set a tempo for their speech pattern, and in my mind added a layer of detail to the game that I wasn't expecting. Positive note number 3 is that this world is easy to explore. I mentioned that golden feathers are required to increase your stamina, some of which need to be found in the overworld, all of which I found just by thinking, ooh, what's over there? If you take your time and don't race to the top, you will more than likely find everything you need without any issues with this game. So just simple curiosity will get you everything you absolutely need. Now, pro number 4 is a simple fetch quest. The fetch quest is perhaps one of the most tropey and for some players annoying part of any RPG or MMO or anything of that sort. While this isn't an RPG, there is a fetch quest or two that are resolved insanely quickly. They felt more like a vehicle for the cute and witty dialogue or for you to get a new game feature than a means to slow down your progress. So it was rather well implemented, and I found it to be a boon rather than a hindrance. Now let's move on to the negatives. First is too simplified in art style. I played this game both on my large screen TV and on my computer monitor, and the art style, while cute, felt a bit outdated to me. I understand that this is a stylistic choice, and I'm kind of splitting hairs on this, but this is strictly an opinion and not a huge drag. I'm sure there are plenty of people who would love this style wholeheartedly. Con number 2 is rounded cliffs. This does not apply to every cliff in the game, but there are some that when you stand near them, Claire kind of just slides over the edge, and it's not like you fall to your death or anything. You can just hop back up or climb or fly or whatever. It's an incredibly minor inconvenience, just something that I happened to notice a few times as I went through the hiking trails, nothing more. Now this game has an average time to beat of 1.5 hours according to how long to beat, and I went through in about that time as well. I don't know exactly the time frame, and it is currently selling for about $7.99 on the Nintendo eShop for Nintendo Switch, which I found to be an okay price. If you think that's a bit steep, that's up to you. But maybe if you want to save up some Nintendo coins to get a discount, or maybe wait for it to go on sale, you can grab it for a bit cheaper. Either way, I think it's worth picking up. And finally, A Short Hike has absolutely earned an 8.5 out of 10. But that's all for today. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed today's review. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. And I hope that you like this video, share it out. Subscribe if you're new, if you're enjoying this new kind of content, if you were here from my bookish days on YouTube, or if you just happen to be enjoying these game reviews. But that is all. Thank you all so much for your time. I hope that you are having a fantastic, amazing, wonderful day, because you are fantastic, amazing, wonderful people. I love each and every single one of you, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.